June 26th. Is that the date? I don't know. I am coming to you piecemeal today because you just heard why. There's a dude here and he's not letting me do very much today. So right now we're in the car in the driveway. He's not driving. We are just hanging out. He likes to honk the horn and tell me about it. So that's where we are. Anyway, this is Goosey Fibers Podcast. I am Kate. I'm coming to you from inside my car in the South Shore of Massachusetts.
That guy!
Where I live with my husband, Damien, my son, August. Say hi.
Hi.
And our dog, Dobby. Dobby is everywhere August goes, so she's in the car too. Anyway, this is a podcast about knitting and crocheting. Not really, but I like crochet. Someday I will learn. Cross stitch, not this week though. And just fibery goodness and life in general. And here we go. Hi everyone, I'm back. It is, I think I already covered this. It's Monday morning. Hi, nice to see you. Anyway, so yeah, this podcast is fairly peaceful. I'm back again. Oh my gosh. So hi, I think I'm gonna try and podcast in here. This is it's like kind of a nothing room. It's become my stash room. It was gonna be a baby room, but that didn't happen. So now we kind of have this little, it's small, it's this cute little spare room. I guess maybe it would be a perfect sewing room if I knew how to sew, but I don't. Anyway, you're welcome. I got really dressed up for today, obviously. Where am I looking? Where is this camera? Hi. Is that it? Yeah, so this is now just, this is a spare room that I don't really know what to do with. We painted it this cute little color, but now I kind of want it to be like a pale gray. So we might have to repaint. And I feel like painting a room is really like the one thing that tests my relationship with my husband, because I am a control freak and he is not, but he doesn't want to be bossed around, understandably. And so we end up like having to take turns painting a room because we just drive each other up the wall otherwise. Anyway, so this, when we swatched it, this was like this really pretty gray, like a light gray with just a little bit of blue, and on the wall it's just blue. And it's just a little too baby blue. So yeah, I guess that's a project ahead of me. But I also found this wallpaper that I really want to get for this wall only. Like have most of the room painted and then one wall, a wallpaper. And because it's a cabled knit wallpaper. And I want it so badly. So I'll probably do that. But anyway, hi! Welcome to another room of my house. We're running out of rooms pretty rapidly. If you've been watching, you've seen most of the house by now. And so yeah, this is my stash over here. I don't want to move this camera. If you saw the precarious setup I have with this camera, it's really something else. I'm not using my computer as I have in previous podcasts because it's a really granular image and it's really dark. And I have the brand new iPhone and I know it's supposed to have this great camera, so I'm giving it a try. And it's supposed to have an improved portrait camera or selfie camera or whatever you call those, so that's what's happening. But I have it jury-rigged to our camera's tripod, so I can't move it a lot because I had to take the protective case off of the phone to get it in this rigging, and I am terrified if I jostle the rigging whatsoever, the camera's gonna fall and then I'm going to break another camera. And it's new because I broke the last one. So I can't break this one. So there's not gonna be a lot of moving, so you're not gonna see the top couple shelves. The top couple shelves are like yarn for sale because I didn't know. It's been in just this bin, and it was so hard to find stuff when people would order it. I was like scooping through the bin every single order that came through, and it was driving me crazy. So we moved all the books off of this shelf, and they're all downstairs now. Some have found a home, some haven't. And so now there's just yarn, and there's still some books. I've got like my Walking Dead trade paperbacks over here. These are some of my knitting things. There's a lot of books down here. And I moved this couch just for this podcast. It's usually against that wall because some of August's upstairs books are down on this bottom shelf. So I'm gonna have to move this couch back when I'm done here. So yeah, it's a lot of moving around, but I think it's better than sitting at the kitchen table with my camera, hopefully, or my computer, I hope. And I love having my yarn out on display. I've been staring at all these other podcasters, and they all have this walls of yarn. I'm looking at you, yarn hoarder. And it just looks so pretty. And so I've been really jealous. So now I have a start to it. I don't think it'll stay on a bookshelf. I think I'm probably going to do those cubby shelves eventually. But for now, my husband really did most of the moving of things. And I think he's done for a little while. So we've just got, I don't know. It's our first year in this house. This house has a lot of issues that it needs worked on, which we encountered over these last couple of weeks. But for now, I'm happy. Anyway, hey, knitting. Let's talk about knitting. It's been a while. You can see I have one faux, little finished object. These are my, oh my gosh, what did I do with it all? Oh, sorry, I have different socks. Anyway, these are my family reunion springtime socks from my sock blank that I painted. I realized I have like no samples of my own yarn, so I started sort of keeping some things to the side just for myself to knit with. So anyway, here they, sunlight, here they are. Obviously they don't match exactly, but I think they're obviously siblings, and I love them. They're really fun. I like this setup so much better. These colors are so much more accurate. It's just a fun sock. And I'm thinking like, instead of socks next time, I really like this springtime blank. I think it could be like a really fun like girl's sweater, like a little girl's sweater. Because it's just really bright, it's fun, it's pretty cool. So yeah. Anyway, I talked about these before. These are just vanilla socks. It's 15 rows of 2x2 knitting. I don't know. I don't even know if these are the same height. Oh no! This is the first I held them up to each other, and one is definitely shorter than the other one. I should have actually looked when I was knitting the second sock. Oh no! It's like half an inch shorter. Whatever. I don't care. I'll still wear them. They're still fine for me. Oh, I should have brought what I had left over. I still have a whole panel left of the sock blank. So, I mean, it's 463 yards in each sock blank, so that's a lot. So, and I have big feet, and These are both tall socks. One is taller than the other. But yeah, there's a lot left. So if anyone's worried if they'll do a whole pair of socks, I mean, they would do a whole pair of men's socks and have a ton left over. It's a lot of yarn. I saved some on one of these socks, apparently. Ugh. Anyway, so that's that. I can finally take them off the blockers and throw them in my drawer. Yay. I really liked it, and I think, oh, that's what I meant to talk about, is it never occurred to me. I feel like since I started really knitting voraciously, since this winter, before it was like, I'll knit here and there, or I'll cross stitch here, like in the evening, and now I've just been like, since October, November or so, all I do is knit. I love it. Every time I'm sitting, every time I'm relaxing, I want to knit because that's what I find most relaxing. And it used to be I would read. And so I've been lamenting that my reading has really taken a plunge. I'm reading far less books than I used to. And then I realized stockinette or garter is so amazing because you can knit and read at the same time. And that was, I know some of you are like, yeah, you goober, of course you can. But that was eye-opening to me. I can't believe I never thought of it before. I'm so excited. I was getting a lot of good reading done last week, and I got my socks finished because they were just vanilla, so I was just knitting in a circle, and it was great. So I'm really happy about that. Now I don't have to pick between my two loves. I can do both. Anyway, speaking of socks, these are not vanilla. This is a hoe, and I don't know, I have the second sock I'm working on still. It's around here. Here it is. I've talked about them before. They are, for some reason, the never-ending socks for me. This is Hippo for Christmas by Lolo Did It. These are Helen Stewart's Apple Blossom socks. It's really pretty. See, I mean, I've talked about it before, that the pattern, the dye of the sock doesn't really work with the pattern very well. I think it would be better to be a tonal, but I'm not going back. I don't care. It's happening. These are my Christmas Eve cast on socks. So I have to be done at some point. But that said, I love this pattern, and I'm gonna do it again in a tonal. But yeah, it's so pretty. Anyway, that's a hoe. I think it may have been a hoe last time. I don't know, guys. Gonna have a bunch left over. Eventually I'm gonna have to start doing a second color for, I think, heels, toes, maybe cuff, I'm not sure. I just like how it looks, but I never do it because the first pair of socks I ever made, I tried doing it like that, and it was a disaster. It looked really weird because I didn't quite know how to do anything, and it kind of scared me away, but I will try to, oh my hair, I'm sorry you guys, I didn't put makeup on or anything this morning. I'm very tired. Anyway, I have another faux. Why do I say one and then have to say it out loud? It just doesn't sound right to me to just say faux. So, oh my gosh. I'll put that up there. And that up there. Okay. So this is a test knit that I was working on for Fairy Little. It's out now. She released it this past week. It is called the Sorrento Shawl. And oh, it is so pretty. It's a huge crescent-shaped shawl. And this is when I did all in my own colors. Can't see it. There's a beautiful picot binding. That's the very first picot binding I've ever done, and I loved it. It took a while to do, but it was just so nice. And this blocked out so nice. All these lace, and I just love it so much. She did such a good job with this design. It's beautiful. It really was my favorite shawl that I've ever knit. I think last podcast I told you the colors, but I'll just go over them really fast. I'm showing you the wrong side. Sorry about that, guys. This is the right side. So pretty. Anyway, so this dark one, this sort of dark mauve, is Carolina. It is, I made it for my friend's new baby girl. This one is Dance on a Moonbeam. That is, when August was little baby, we would sing that Sesame Street song, I'd Like to Live on the Moon. That was like his bedtime song. So it's just, I have an affinity for that song. So this just reminded me of it. It seems very moon-ish. So that's Dance on a Moonbeam. And this light gray is Stardust. And it's just a light gray with tiny little bits of like, I don't know, lilac and mauve. So all three colors really sort of, I actually dyed them specifically to go together. I kind of want to release like a set of these and like have a link in my shop to the Sorrento shawl because it's so nice to knit. It's, for one, I love a big shawl, and this is like 10 feet from tip to tip. It's super intuitive. You really can sort of just watch TV and knit your shawl, but it also has a lot of interest to it. I mean, it clearly has a lot of lace. It has like 3 lace panels, I think. It has short rows. It has this picot binding. It has lots of garter stitch. It's just, oh, it was such a pleasure to knit. I was really trying to knit it quickly because I knew she was releasing it and I wanted it done before she released it. But I'm planning on doing another one because it was just so wonderful. It smells good. I use soak wash on all my yarns, so it just, I love that smell. So yeah, that's my finished, and I'm gonna tell you a dirty secret of mine. This is the first thing I've ever blocked. I lied before. If I ever told you I blocked anything, I was lying. I would just try and pull it and stretch it. It really does make a difference. I have so many shawls and like everything, and none of them have been blocked. So now I'm gonna have to go back and actually do the blocking because I cannot believe how lace just holds its shape when it's blocked. Again, I know this is one of these things you are probably all like clicking off or thumbing down because you're like, I cannot watch this dummy. I cannot believe she did not know blocking is good. But I did know, I just never did it. Because when I'm done knitting, like I'm done. I hate weaving in ends, but I'll do that. But like then you add blocking in, and that's like 2 more days of like working with a project, and usually by the time I'm done with a project I just want to put it down. So yeah, I just never block things. I have sweaters that I haven't blocked that I have to go back now and block those. Yeah, I kind of wish I hadn't told you that. But there's always editing. So yeah, that's done. And oh, I have one thing I'm working on right now, and I don't think my friends watch this podcast, but Anna, if you do, look away, or not if you don't like surprises like me. You don't have to. So I'm knitting this for my friend. It's showing up reverse, huh? It's called the Peacock Dress. It's by Knitting for Olive. It's so cute. So I'm gonna do a size 1 year because I don't know. Because because I'm worried by the time, I think the small size is 6 months, and I'm terrified. The baby's about 3 months now. I'm so sorry if I have that wrong. And I'm a slow knitter, so I'm always scared that I'll knit a small size, like a size to fit, and the baby will be like 4 by the time I'm done. So I'm doing a size 1 year. So that I should be done with it and have it blocked and be able to gift it. But here's what I have so far. I only just started. Sorry, the sun is really kind of a pain. But you start at the bottom and cast on, and you go up from there, which I've never knit a dress before, even though this is a small dress. And that's a really loud truck. Oh my gosh. Anyway, so yeah, it's got a lot of interest. It's a charted pattern. So, but it's just in the round, so you don't have to worry about like going backwards or switching like knit to purl on the wrong side. It's all just round and round and round, so that's nice. I think that's the way to do a pattern for me. So yeah, this is Carolina again, because this is the baby that I named this colorway for, so obviously I have to knit for her in her own colorway. Ooh, so cute. Oh, that's better. Actually, that color is much more accurate against my gray. So yeah, it's so pretty. It's so fun to knit. It's semi-intuitive. You definitely need the chart. But each panel is repetitive. I mean, each row is pretty repetitive, so it's semi-intuitive. And yeah, that's all I've really been working on. I'm looking around like, is that it? But I think that's a lot. I mean, that's a big shawl, a pair of socks, and a dress and some more socks. Anyway, look at this. My husband found this the other day. This is the first thing I ever knit in my life. It's like a watcher's cap, I think. It's super soft. I'll just leave that on. It's not like a heat wave out right now, so I can wear this. I look a little weird though. Oh. I didn't realize how egg-shaped my head was before. So yeah, this is the first thing I ever made. I wish I knew the yarn company, because it's worsted weight, clearly. It is beyond soft. I think it must be, I walked into my local yarn shop at the time, and I think I just picked a color, and I had no idea about weight or anything. There is a ray of sun that just wants to wreck my day. Yeah, I didn't know about weight, anything. I didn't know different types of wool. So I just went in and picked a color I liked, and it's this really pretty green with this super soft pink all through it. It's so pretty. And the hat's really warm. This was my local knitting shop at the time, was Verb for Keeping Warm in Oakland, California, and I miss it. I loved that little shop. And they had so much stuff. I think it's like my ultimate business goal is to like be stocked in Verb for Keeping Warm, because oh my god, I used to love going in there. I would just go in and buy stuff and then try and find a project that would suit it. So I'd have like 2 skeins of variegated worsted, and then like 1 skein of like 1,000 feet of undyed lace weight yarn, and be like, I don't know what to make. Do these go together? But yeah, now I want to go into a shop like that again, and knowing what I know, and be able to just pick and choose whatever I want. I'll do that. So yeah, that's it for knitting. I have not cross-stitched at all. We were away a little while last week. This is not working. Which I'll tell you about in a little while. And yeah, I only brought knitting, so I didn't get a lot of other things done. I still haven't learned how to crochet. I just haven't. There's so many things I want to knit that, like, I don't know if I want to take crochet on just yet, even though I do, because I really want to make one of those, what do they call it, down the rabbit hole, the granny stripe blankets with all my like leftover bits and baubles, but we'll get to it. I keep looking over here because I have things. I have acquisitions time. Let's skip to that portion. So this arrived the day after my last podcast. I had mentioned that I got it, that I got a subscription, and now it's here. Oh my god, one of my Instagram friends called it Mock Mock because it shows reverse, and now I can't look at it without thinking that. It's the 5th anniversary issue of Mock Mock, you guys. It's so great. It has stuff for PomFest, which makes me very jealous of everybody that gets to go. But oh my god, this, I've looked through online some of the older pom-pom issues, and I ordered a few, but I pick and chose like what has predominantly things I'd want to knit, and those are the ones I got, and I kind of left alone the ones that I think are really cute and pretty, but things that I would never really knit for myself. But look at this. Look at that cabling. Oh. I am obsessed. I mean, I have to finish that Guernsey sweater vest at some point, but... Okay, this sweater at first didn't really do it for me. And then I noticed those panels like on the drop shoulder, and then it's cabling down the side. Cannot handle it. But there's just so much in here. I have become a sock knitter, you guys. For the longest time, I thought everyone who knits socks is a little bit mad, but they're right. It's fun. I'm obsessed. They're good things to gift knit, and it's just fun. It's nice to have something. Anyway, I'm not going to show you every single pattern. It's great. It has Joji Locatelli, Bristol Ivy, Vera Valimaki. I mean, it has so many amazing designers in here. It has these great interviews. For a while, I didn't buy Pom Pom also because I thought it was just a pattern book. I didn't realize it had so many fun interviews, so that really sold me. So, yeah, now I'm a subscriber and I have some back issues coming my way. My bank account is so unhappy that I'm a knitter. Do you guys sympathize with that at all? Okay, then, so we went away to Martha's Vineyard last week for a few days, and I came back to a mail party, M-A-I-L, but also M-A-L-E, because I subscribe to Rib Magazine now, or it looks like Durr. if it's showing up backwards for you like it does for me right now, Durr Magazine, issue 2. My husband, issue 1 didn't really want any of the things in it, but issue 2, he is like, I think there's only one sweater in here that he doesn't want, and he wants everything else. So, yay, because he can be a little bit finicky about what he wants knit for him, but he's obsessed. They just, they're so well designed. It's just so nice. Like, it's texture without like being like crazy, you know. It's good for the modern man. Anyway, I cannot wait. I really want to make him this sweater that's on the cover, because cables, maybe even in that color. I'll have to I don't think I have a blue that's quite dark enough. Do I? No. Do you hear my baby in the other room yelling? He's a crab. Okay, I also got Vogue Knitting. This is the latest one. This is the fall 2017. I told one of my friends that it was summer knitting and I was wrong, because it definitely has a lot in here that I do want to make. Look at that shawl. More cables. I think I'm in a cable kind of mood these days. Also because it is so exciting when you're like in the dead of summer and it feels like the heat will never go away, and then you start seeing fall patterns, you know, for when it starts getting a little chilly outside. I love that feeling, knowing that like crisp air will be on its way again. Look at that. More cable, more texture. So pretty. I will say this is not my favorite issue of theirs, because they do a lot of these like 1960s sort of style striping, and I just, that sort of thing does not look good on me. I know it's just striping and I could do other colors, but the color choices really turned me off. And I wish they didn't. I wish I was much more fun and this would work for me, but it will not work for me, and I just don't want to try. So if I told you not to get it for whatever reason, this is why. I do kind of like this tank though. I like this tank. I would make, I'm not mad at that. I'd wear that. But like, I don't know. I don't know about the bold stripes. Like, I want to like this dress, but I don't know if I do. You know? I don't know. You tell me. Am I wrong? I might be wrong. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about this issue. I just dropped it. Anyway, one more thing that I have. I ordered finally from Sugar Tots. I ordered two things. I ordered a stitch marker, right? The light is just killing me. See? Come on. Oh my god, it's such a really well detailed. Is that working? I don't know if it's working, but I ordered a pineapple and I stitch marker, and I ordered a snow cone progress keeper. Is it working? There, I think that might be. I don't know. I can't see it because I'm trying to block my face so my camera doesn't focus on me. I don't know if you saw it or not, but it is amazing. I don't know how she did this. It's so good. I just, I love it so much. I've been holding off on using it because I wanted to show you guys because it's so cute. It is so cute. So now I can use it now that I've showed you guys. And that's it for acquisitions, I think. Yeah, I think so. That's pretty much it. Yeah. Anyway, so I'll just do a really quick shop update. There's not a lot. I kept the shop really stocked up. I got it nice and stocked before we went to the vineyard, so that I didn't have to do too much work when I got home, but that was ridiculous. I've been doing a ton of work since I got home because the Yarn Hoarder showed my yarn on her podcast, and KT from Inside 23 showed my yarn on her podcast. And so there was definitely an uptick on sales last week, which was so exciting. Oh my God. I loved it so much. but it definitely was like, oh my gosh, I have to restock my whole shop now because a lot sold, which was really great. Thank you guys so much. It's so nice just to have people appreciate that the work I put in. I really appreciate that so much. So yeah, I haven't done a ton of new dyeing. I have a couple things. I don't know why I brought this over. This is Galapagos. I've showed you guys this. That's not a new colorway. This is, I haven't listed it in the shop yet. It's like, that's pretty true to color too. Look at that. Yeah. I was gonna name it Neptune, and I still might, but then I was also thinking Amity Cove, because, so we went to the vineyard, like I've said about 1,000 times now. I don't know why, sorry. And that's like supposedly where Jaws takes place, even though in Jaws the town's called Amity. And I'm obsessed with that movie. I saw it the first time when I was 7 years old. It really scarred myself for life. I will not swim in the ocean. I don't like to swim in a pool. I get scared taking baths. So it definitely scarred me, but like I'm obsessed with it. Like I watch it. I just watched it again this past weekend because I don't know. It's not even that scary considering what's out these days. I mean, that was released before I was born, and it's really not scary anymore at all. It's kind of a slow movie, but I just love it. I don't know. So anyway, I was thinking of calling this Amity Cove because it's blue, but it has a lot of deep red speckles, and yeah, maybe I'll take these labels off and rename it. I'm not sure. This one I did, I think last week. This was for June is Pride Month. And one of my favorite places to go is P-Town, Provincetown, at the very tip of Cape Cod, because it's so fun. It's like where Edward Hopper hung out all the time. It's got this amazing artist community, but it's also just like as gay as the day is long. And moving away from the Bay Area to a small town in Massachusetts, I really miss. I just miss the whole atmosphere. So I love P-Town. So this is like a gray base. It's got a lot of rainbow speckling. It's just super fun. It's a really fun thing, actually. I kind of want to make Augusta like a fun sweater in this. Is it too girly? I don't know. Anyway, so yeah, P-Town Pride. That's P-Town Pride, right? That's my June is Pride Month colorway. So that's that. And then I just started doing, I'm gonna start phasing out some of my older colorways, especially sort of like seasonal colorways. So like in like a lion, out like a lamb, whatever's listed right now is all there's gonna be. And I'm gonna start doing more seasonal or something. So these are because Rhinebeck doesn't feel that far away, and cold, crisp air doesn't feel that far away. So I'm doing fallish colorways. So these are based on one of my favorite movies of all time. This is Lightning Sand. And this is iocane powder. I really like it. I could just see either one of these in like a big chunky cardigan. Maybe one of those, ooh, yeah. Maybe I'll do a big cabled cardigan or something. From like Pom Pom, I think this would be really fun. I don't own anything that's this color, so I don't know that it works for my skin tone, but I'm gonna try it anyway. Because I need to stop wearing so much gray. Gray and blue, it's like all I wear. And green. So anyway, these are the first two of a series that I'm gonna do based on The Princess Bride. So yeah, Lightning Sand, iocane powder. I'm gonna do a whole bunch more and just have some new colorways. Just pep up my shop a little bit. I'm also thinking of starting colorway clubs on my website, gooseyfibers.com. I haven't done it yet. That website still needs some work just to try and get it where I see it being. It's just not there yet because I don't like doing website maintenance, so I always have to sort of convince my husband to do it, but he works full time, so he doesn't always want to when he comes home. But yeah, I'd really like to start doing color clubs, or like maybe sock blank clubs that you can only get certain designs, because sock blanks also, I was going to show, I'll take this down, don't look. So sock blanks I'm going to start phasing out also. Not in sock blanks themselves, but like some of the designs right now. Like Family Reunion Winter, whatever's in my shop, I think there's only 2 left. If that. Maybe only 1 left. Once that one sells, it's gone. And same with spring. I'm working on a new design for summer. I still want to keep Family Reunion, that whole bear gathering together. That theme, I'll have one for maybe each season, but for right now, I mean, winter and spring, it's over, so those guys need to go. And yeah, I need a new design for summer, and yeah, I've been sort of thinking up new designs. I just need to sort of draw them out and get comfortable with them and find some that I really, really want to do, and go from there. So I hope I know you'll be seeing new sock blanks coming up sooner than later. So I haven't done any. There's just none new in the shop right now. Anyway, that's what I'm trying to say. Anyway, I started doing some custom sock blanks, and I'm going to show you one now, but if you are Susie T. Homemaker, look away. Don't see it unless, again, you're like me and you don't like surprises, in which case, go ahead and look. But this is what I made for her that I'm going to be sending today. Isn't that cute? Okay, you can look now if you were looking away. So yeah, I started doing some custom blanks, which brings me into my general chatter part. I made custom blanks for, Goosey Fibers is now stocked in my local yarn shop. It's called a Yarns, and it's in Norwell, Massachusetts. And I'm really excited about it. She asked me to make a couple of custom sock blanks for her shop, and I did. I'll throw in a picture here. They turned out really well. I don't know that that's really the route I want to go in, though. That was sort of like a favor, because I want it to be my art. I don't want to do anyone else's art. Anyway, so yeah, Goosey Fibers is stocked in my local shop. I also had a sales rep. If you follow me on Instagram, there was a sales rep that wanted to represent me to shops around New England and get me into all these different shops. So I'd be wholesaling from, like, I don't know, Maine down to Rhode Island, I think is as far as New England goes. But I ended up saying not right now. I just wanted to pump the brakes a little bit because it's just me and I'm a stay-at-home mom, and it's a lot of work doing one shop that's wholesale. But if I started adding shops, it would have just like, it would have been too much. And also wholesale prices, if you sell to a yarn shop, it's half of what you charge retail. And so I was literally like losing money wholesale. And the sock blanks, if people bought sock blanks, it was like I was working, I did the math, I was working for less than $1 an hour. And it was like, I can't do that, not right now. So I said no, and if you saw that post on Instagram, it really kind of devastated me. She essentially told me that I am not in it for success, that I don't care about success, that I'm just a fad, and it was just so brutal, and it was like the last thing that night. Like, she wrote it at like 10 p.m. and it just wrecked me. I was up all night, and it's really been on my mind ever since. All I can say is, like, that same day was when KT from Inside 23 showed my yarn, and I got a lot of orders. And then the next day, Yarn Hoarder Amber showed my yarn, and I got a lot of orders. So I hope I'm not a fad or just some flash in the pan, because I really love doing this, and I love being able to have like an artistic side, and yeah, be able to express myself. So yeah, I don't know. You can tell it's still sitting on me, especially when I'm tired like I am right now. It hurts my feelings. It sounds so juvenile to say. But one thing that I will say, which a lot of you guys said, was there's a really good chance, you know, she was mad because she didn't get commission on my work, which means I think she doesn't think that I'm a fad. I think that means that she thinks I'm gonna be successful, and she wants a piece of it. And also, honestly, the way she behaved made me like, okay, like, I did just want to pump the brakes and do this later, but now I kind of don't want to work with her at all. So I don't know. We'll see what the future holds. I really hope to get Goosey Fibers in other yarn stores, but I want them to be yarn stores of my choosing, and people that appreciate what I do and how much work I put into everything. Yeah, so that was a really bad thing last week. And then the same day, our kitchen sink broke, and that's where I wash all of my yarn from my dyeing, and it was broken for like 3 days. We couldn't use the sink. Then we found out yesterday that while it was broken, it continued to leak down into the ceiling of our downstairs. So yeah, and the worst part is we had this like bag that we hadn't figured out what to do with yet, of all of our old photos of us growing up that are like irreplaceable. Like, there's no film left. Those were it. And it got all over everything, and it was like 100 photos ruined. So that was not fun. It's not leaking anymore. My husband fixed it, because it turns out he's a pretty handy dude, which is great. We've always lived in apartments, so I never knew if he was like a handy guy or not, because you just call maintenance to fix a problem in an apartment. So yeah, the leak is fixed, the sink is fixed, so I can finally work again. I am really sad about those photos. And let's see, something else broke recently. It was like a disaster. This house just sort of fell apart on us all at once. I don't remember what it is that broke. It's been like highs and lows these past 2 weeks. The high was Martha's Vineyard. I've wanted to go for a while. All I ever heard was it's like the picturesque New England town, and it's really close to us. The ferry to get there is so close. And so I found this really cute house on Airbnb, and we had my parents come with us, and I was like, I just want to relax for a couple of days and just like not work, because I've been working like 14 hours a day, 7 days a week. And it was really nice just to get away. And also the ferry is really fun. We had our car on the ferry. You just drive straight onto a boat. That is crazy to me. And also the amount of people they fit on one of these ferries, the amount of cars. And then the things that you don't think about, like you live on an island, like there were mail trucks and UPS trucks that have to get on the ferry to go do their deliveries, and then they have to leave again. There was a moving truck, which is like, oh my God. Like if you want to move to or from that island, you need to have a moving truck on a ferry. I don't know, that seems crazy to me. It was so neat. It was really exciting. Driving onto a ferry. I don't know. So I would definitely go back. I'm glad we went right before the season really starts. I think it started this weekend. It's like the first weekend of summer, and we came back Friday. So we did Wednesday to Friday. It was a short trip, but it was nice. And I'm glad we did it then, and I'm glad we did it midweek, because it was already so crowded. And what I think is crowded is everyone being like, oh no, there's hardly anybody here. Which is like, the traffic, if you go downtown in any of the little towns, is so, it's nuts. Especially because it's just this tiny old town. So like, there's not room for the amount of traffic. It was wild. And also, I had no idea that Martha's Vineyard was like a New Yorker destination. So there's a ton of New Yorkers and beautiful homes, and the water was nice. Goosey went in the water on one of the town beaches. It was really fun. Except, you know, me and Jaws, I hope he loves the water, which is terrifying because I want him to hate the water so that I never have to worry about him going into it. But he's not like that. He loves it. So I have a headache ahead of me in the years to come. So yeah, that was it. We really just hung out. It was really nice. I think going back next time, now I know, bring a cooler and grocery shop before going to the island, because it's crazy expensive. But this is like our only vacation this year, was just these 3 days. So I felt fine being like, look, it's vacation. Like, let's just live a little. So that's what we did. We lived a little. And now we're back. And that's really all that's been happening that I can think of. I should start taking notes, since I only do this like every other week, so that I remember what I've been doing, because I don't remember. Anyway, I think that's everything, you guys. I'm sorry for the scatteredness of me and my unmakeuped and uncombed hair. Poof. Thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate it. I really appreciate you guys more every day. I'm so grateful to have this community in my life, and I'm grateful that you all came by. I should have said at the beginning, if you're a return viewer, thank you so much for coming back. It's sticking with me. And if you're new, hello. Thank you for being here at all. Yeah, the gratitude is overwhelming. So anyway, until next time, you guys, happy crafting. Mwah.